Alrighty then, ladies and gentlemen, Darkwolf here. We're going to go over what I like to call kit theory. Now, what kit theory is how one sets up their kit and why they set it up the way they do. Everybody's going to be different. Nobody's going to have the same exact kit, rarely ever. But this is how I set up my stuff as a saw gunner in the United States Army. Alright, we're going to go front to back on the plate carrier here. First things first, we're going to start off with the admin pouch, right? It's a Agilite 6-pack. I got a tourniquet here for obvious reasons, and then in here I have my rank for when I need to swap out that patch for the rank because they don't like having big reflective patches. And then I also have zip cups in here and a buzzsaw, an IR buzzsaw. Now what you do with this is if you need to do signaling for some reason, like shift some lift fires, we will typically use this and we'll swing it around for a shift and then up in the air for a lift, right? That's just one of our SOPs. And that's mainly for night usage. Alright. Now moving on to the mag pouches. Of course, yet again it's Agilite. A lot of people are going to make fun of me because I have a lot of Agilite stuff. They make really good stuff. That's just my opinion. Alright, metal mags, right? I, as a saw gunner, always carry metal mags on me. At least 3, maybe even up to 5 with these 2 mag pouches here. But I always carry extra mags on me for multiple reasons. One being you can use metal mags inside of a saw. Or the M249. You can use them. They usually feed pretty well, and they will tear up the followers, though. That's the only problem with them. Sometimes they'll tear up these little blue pieces right there. That's why you really don't want to use polymer magazines or PMags in a saw, because it will also tear up the PMags as well. That's why you mainly want to use metal. That, and I can also use these in M4 if for some reason my saw goes down and I cannot use it and I cannot get it back up. Rarely ever happens, but it has happened to me once before. During a field event, I had to ditch my saw and give it to somebody else and take their M4. Somebody that had already died per se. And I just gave it to them, told them to watch it, and then grab their M4. I utilized my magazines because I had all of them filled up. Right? These are also for my battle buddies, my brothers in arms. If they need magazines, then I have them. So that's another reason why I like to carry extra magazines on my person, so I can give it to people that need it as well. All right, moving on to, well, let's go right here. Water system. Water system goes in the back panel. I'll put on my offhand shooting shoulder, so that way I'm not obstructing this shoulder, and I can shoulder a rifle and or a machine gun. All right, these pouches. This is the Spiritus Systems assault back panel with their flashbang pouch modification. I use it to carry extra chem lights and markings. I also have this in here for some reason. Some ace wrap. Same thing on this side. I typically carry extra markings. These are the VS17 panels wrapped around a chem light. Those, I believe, are foxtails, if I'm not mistaken. That's what we were using those as. All right. And then in here, in this pouch, I know it looks weird to have this patch just to cover up my name because I don't want to know my name. I have a life straw. Just, that's like a emergency situation and I absolutely need it. I just leave it in there. And that's about all I have in that pouch. I apologize for the camera footage. I'm having to do this one-handed. Now, moving on. Let's see. I can't remember if I have anything in this pouch. Usually I would keep a... Yep. This is what we have. This is a CCP marking. It's really just a VS17 panel. You unfold it, and it has like a nice little cross and whatnot. That's what that's for, to set up a CCP if need be. So it like that. Now moving on to the main pouch. All right. I don't have anything in this main pouch at the moment because I use it for either ammunition and or my 249 spare barrel. That's what I like to use this for. So that way my team leader can come up or my buddy can come up, hand me my spare barrel. I can swap it out. He can put it back in there because I'm always going to be running in a team. I'm never going to be running by myself, right? And then right here I have my water bladder. As you can see, it's separated from the main pouch. I used to run this water bladder in here, but I don't anymore because I don't want my spare barrel to pop it. It hasn't happened to me yet, but it has happened to more than one person when they put their spare barrels with their water bladders, so I decided to separate it. And I use this little general purpose pouch right here under it. I mollied it in and secured it with some boot blousers. So that's how I store my water and my barrel and extra ammo. Of course, you have these two tactical tailor pouches right here. Velcro. I just signed these out for my arms, and I didn't buy these, thankfully. So that's money I didn't have to spend. All right, both same thing, tactical tailor, small pouches. And then, of course, I wear side plates. The Army always wants us to have the maximum amount of protection we can, so I wear my side plates, even if I don't have to. All right, moving on to the belt. Right here, I have a Spirit Systems small GP pouch with the padding, and it fits my nods perfectly. Especially those ones that I have right there on my helmet. It fits those perfectly, so I can assume they fit my 6s as well. In the left here, I have what I just did. I made some zip cuffs out of zip ties. You just take 3 zip ties and loop them together, and then you can stick somebody's hands in there and just tighten them down, and that'll work somewhat effectively. Moving on to the IFAK, just again, Agilite IFAK. Like I said, they make good stuff, and plus that's all they have at the U.S. Patriot Tactical up here, so I'm not having to order stuff offline, and I can just go there directly. Tourniquet, of course, trauma shears, and then the contents that you would typically have in IFAK. Like I said, again, almost all Agilite stuff. You have their dump pouch. This is the one where you pull it and it drops down, so it takes up less space on your pouch, and you have a magazine right here as well. Same thing, 2 magazines, and then I have a little clip here for either chem lights or gloves typically. Alright then, moving on to the helmet. This is my issued helmet, iHips. Of course, I have my 6s mount, and then your little band here, so that way people can identify you and who you are, especially if you get shot. I have those covered up for security reasons. And battery pack, of course. Nothing too much to this. Is just like an issued helmet. And I have personal pads here. They're Condor pads. They're really comfortable. Nothing much to it. And then I have these, my Peltors, on a band system because I keep swapping between these two whenever I go to range. So whenever I go and do stuff on the weekends, I'll usually put these on there, and then I'll take them off whenever I have to go to work. All right, moving on to my civilian helmet. This is a Militech helmet, and I got it full scrim like I showed in a video earlier. I got a Charge Pro helmet light. It's got, I want to say 3 or 4 settings. So you got red, green, and then you have IR. If you hold it down, you can't see it, of course, but it's there, trust me. And then that's my microphone for the Peltors. I was too lazy, and they were a pain in the ass to get off, so I just left them on here. Hellstar helmet light. Turn on, blinks, all good stuff. And then I want to say it's an Argus battery pack for my nods. I really like these nods. These are a nice set, especially with this ANVB housing. I'm a big fan of it. And then I'm also going to be getting a counterweight for this soon because they are heavy. And then I don't know what kind of mounts these are. I'm pretty sure there's some Amazon things that I got whenever I bought my other helmet. But I'm a big fan of them, and they're pretty easy to put Peltors on and off. So yeah, that's about it. That's my kit setup from plate carrier, belt, all the way up to helmet.